The fuller is now complete. While being hammered, the blade has extended crosswise and lengthwise. This has been taken into account, and the redundant material was driven by the strikes of the hammer towards the tip of the blade. The blade is measured and shortened to the desired length. In a forge, the material is generally not sawn but struck off. Being thin, the blade can be chiseled off directly on the anvil chisel. A few well-aimed blows and it is finished. Now for the tip. The tip is completely freely forged on the anvil. The rough forging leaves the blade more or less uneven. Where the unevenness is more serious, the blade is heated before being straightened. To get rid of small irregularities, the material can be hammered when cold. The hardening of the blade is the most important and, at the same time, the most risky operation of the whole manufacturing process. As a result of the heat treatment, the blade exhibits new properties, the most important being hardness. To our ancestors, the hardening process was akin to a magical procedure. Some historical records describe the most fantastic recipes for the quenching baths and protective pacts. Prior to hardening, we cover the blade with a mixture of clay and crushed charcoal to protect it against the burdening and decarbonization of the steel. The ramp up to the hardening temperature must be gradual and slow, so that the protective layer does not fall off. We cannot say what the exact hardening temperature is, as now it is up to the feel and judgment of the swordsmith, who knows by the color of the heated metal when to start hardening. After pulling the blade out of the quenching bath, we remove any remaining packing. A filing test is done in several places. From the depth and easiness of filing, we can determine the hardness of the metal. We inspect the blade to see whether it is not cracked and how big the deformities are. This is the crucial moment, when the quality of the previous processing and selection of appropriate material pay off. It may also be the moment where all the previous work turns out to have been in vain, and we may be forced to start all over again. The hardening has been successfully completed. Now we have a very hard but brittle blade. By tempering at temperatures below the hardening temperature, the steel acquires flexibility as well as toughness at the expense of a slight reduction in hardness. The tempering temperature is determined by the swordsmith based on the colors which appear on the blade surface, from straw yellow to light blue. Hardening and then tempering always result in the blade deformities, which need to be leveled out again and again. A test of its strength is made by hurling the blade against a concrete or stone floor. Wrongly heat-treated steel is sure to fail this test. The blade surface is finished by polishing, first on rough wheel, which used to be made of sandstone, working at low speed and washed by water. However, for reasons of efficiency and speeding up the process, we use modern grinding wheels with microcrystalline structures, suitable for work at higher speed. During grinding, the blade is frequently cooled in order to prevent its getting too hot, and thus losing the properties obtained through heat treatment. The channel is ground with the same type of wheels, but with a smaller diameter and a specially modified grain. The work is complete with the sword held freely in the hands of the blacksmith. The surface is made smooth by using oiled sandpaper, starting with the roughest and ending with the finest. Care is taken to ensure that the polishing is performed in one direction, so that the surface has the same appearance all over. Besides the blade itself, a sword consists of other forged components: the guard to protect the hand, and the pommel as a counterweight to the blade. The guard is made of low carbon iron prepared at the beginning of the work. The desired boat-like shape, typical for the 9th to 10th centuries, is achieved by forging. The slot for sliding